I'm Mackenzie Branch. This is my handler, Sarah Brack, and our lovely companion, Luke. Today we're going to talk to you about vital signs. So to start out with, we're going to check the horse's overall appearance. So to see if your horse is happy, you basically just have to check him out and pay attention to what he's doing. Luke here, his eyes are bright, he's paying attention, his ears can be forward, he's just kind of like whatever right now just because we've been doing this. His coat is nice and shiny, he's been eating, he's been happy, he's overall a very happy horse. If your horse isn't feeling well, their eyes could be dull, their ears could be laid back, he could just be dull in general, like not interested in anything, he might not be eating his food, he might not care about you, he might not be alert. And if that's to happen, then you need to check your horse's vital signs and figure out what is going on. So before we get started, I'm going to talk a little bit about safety. While you're taking your horse's vital signs, you need to remember that your horse is an animal. They can be unsafe and they can hurt you. So you always need to be on the same side as your handler. You never want to stand in front of your horse. You need to always make sure the horse knows where you're at and that he knows what you're doing the entire time. So first off, we're going to talk about mucous membranes. To check these, you can check the conjunctiva of the eye, which is the lower eyelid, and then you can check the gums. I find the gums more easier, so that's what we're going to check today. So you're just going to look at your lip, and you're looking for it to be pink and moist like this is. That means that he is healthy, he's not dehydrated, he's not sick. What's abnormal for a horse is if the gums are fiery red, which indicates fever, bluish purple, which indicates lack of oxygen, yellow, which indicates jaundice or liver problems, pale or dry, which can indicate dehydration, and then pale can indicate dehydration or shock. So next, we're going to talk about capillary refill time, which can be checked on the gums of the horse. So you'll just lift it up, and you'll press on his gums till it becomes white. You'll release, and it should refill in 1 to 2 seconds like his did. If it refills in 1 to 2 seconds, that means your horse is healthy and he is not dehydrated. If it was to refill longer than 1 to 2 seconds, then your horse might be dehydrated. So you're going to have to look into that. Unless sometimes in an older horse, it could take a little bit longer to refill. You just have to know what's normal for your horse and go from that. Next, we're going to take the pulse. This can be found in several areas. The first one being the maxillary artery on the jaw of the horse. Or you can take it at the radial pulse behind the knee of the horse, which is a little bit harder than the maxillary artery. I like to do the maxillary artery, so that's where we're going to take it today. The normal rate is 32 to 44 beats per minute. This could be altered depending if your horse had just got worked or if he's stressed out about something. It could be higher. So I am going to dig around until I find the pulse. And as soon as I find it, my handler is going to time it for 10 seconds. We'll quit moving. Typically, you're not going to find this in a horse unless they have an issue, but I'm going to show you how to look for it anyways. So you're just going to let them know what you're doing. There's slightly two places you can check for it. right here. So I can't find it on him, which means that he doesn't have any foot problems. Some horses you can find a faint digital pulse if they don't have any problems. However, he is not that case. He does not have one. So next we have the skin pinch. The skin pinch tests dehydration in your horse. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in this area of the neck. You're going to get the skin, and you're going to pinch it into a tent and release. It should go flat in 1 to 2 seconds like his just did. That means he is hydrated and he is nice and healthy. However, if you have an older horse and you pinch it into a tent and let go, and it takes longer to go flat, if it takes longer than 1 to 2 seconds, that could be normal for that horse, especially if it's older. An old horse could take longer for it to go flat. But if it's not an old horse and it takes longer, then your horse is more than likely dehydrated. So now I'm going to show you how to take the horse's heart rate. The heart rate is, you should get the same as the pulse. You need, the normal range for the heart rate is 32 to 44 breaths per minute. It is taken at the heart girth. And if for some reason it's higher than 44, it could be because your horse had just been worked or that he's stressed. It's the same thing as the pulse, the same factors that could cause it. So I'm going to put these on. You need a stethoscope to take it, by the way. Does that really work? So I'm going to dig around until I find it. Okay. So I got 6 breaths per minute, times that by 6, and it would be 36, the same as the pulse. That is good. You want your heart rate to be the same as the pulse. If it is not, then that is an inverted heart rate, which means you have a huge problem and you need to get that checked out really quickly. So next we're going to do respiration rate. This is taken by staring at your horse's flank and counting the amount of times you take the breath. The normal rate for this is 8 to 16 breaths per minute or 10 to 20 breaths per minute. This could be higher if your horse had just gotten worked, or lower if your horse has been standing around all day, like Luke has. So I'm going to take it for 10 seconds and multiply my answer by 6. I'm doing 10 seconds because he might not stand still, so I want to get it done as quickly as possible. Wait. So I got 2 breaths, times that by 6 and you get 12. He is in the normal range, and that is good for him, especially since he hasn't been worked at all, so that's normal for him, so that's good. Now we have gut sounds. To take these, you have to know that your horse has 4 quadrants, upper and lower on both sides of their body. When you're doing this, you're listening for a constant gurgling type sound noise. If it is hypermodal, which is extremely loud and more constant than it should be, then your horse could possibly colicking or something is wrong and you need to get that checked out as soon as possible. Or if there's no noise, then that is extremely bad and you need to call your vet or have someone check it out. So I am going to pet the horse, make sure he knows where I'm at, what I'm doing, and I'm just going to listen. So it's gurgling a little bit, it's not that loud, but he has noises and they're constant. I'm going to check the lower one. Same with this one, it's not that loud, but they're constant and they're gurgling. I'm going to keep my hand on his butt so he knows what I'm doing, and I'm going to walk close to him and quickly around to the other side. My videoer.
Hey, here we go.
And I'm going to do the same for these other two quadrants. So it's gurgling. This one's a little bit loud, but that's okay. Same with this one, it's still gurgling and it's constant. So that's normal for him. He has noises and all sounds and they're constant. So lastly, we're going to take his temperature. So the normal range for the temperature is 99.5 to 101.5. The normal one is 100.4. If it's higher than 101.5, your horse more than likely has a fever. If it's lower than 99.5, then your horse is probably in shock, or your thermometer is not working correctly. You have two different types of thermometers. You have digital and mercury. I am going to be using digital today, but for the mercury, you would shake it down below 98, put Vaseline on it, and insert it into your horse's rectum for 2 to 3 minutes, and then take it out and read it. The mercury is typically more on point than the digital, but the digital is quicker in my opinion. So I am going to rub some Vaseline on it. Use your finger, don't stick it into the container because that's contamination and you don't want horse poo in your Vaseline. So you're just going to rub a little bit on there. You're going to turn it on. I'm going to come to this side. And then when you're doing this, just let him know what you're doing. Gently lift up his tail and insert it. So I got 99.1 for my temperature. However, it is cold in this barn and my horse has been standing here without a sheet on. That could be a reason why his temperature is a little bit lower than what it is. Typically, he does not run high anyways, so this is normal for him. If I was concerned about his temperature, I would use a mercury thermometer, and take it with that just to double check this, or find a different thermometer and double check it as well. If your horse has a fever, you can give him bute to help bring that down, and you should probably call the vet depending on how awful his fever is. Thank you for watching my video and have a great day.